Okay, as promised, I made up a kind of a summary on a spreadsheet of the past 3 weeks. How many CDs I bought, where I bought them, and what CDs, and also the price. So, you've got the date, the area, the shop, the artist, the album, if it has a name, and the price. So you can see you start from the 3rd of Jan all the way down to yesterday, which was the 23rd of Jan. The area is not really important to anyone watching this, but it's a mixture of Hospice, Salvation Army, SPCA, Red Cross, St. Mary's, St. John's, I think there's St. Chad's, St. Vincent de Paul, across the city. That kind of takes about 90%. There might be the odd one that's a bit different. And then, so we'll go through this. These are all the CDs that I showed to you over the last 3 weeks. If it's yellow, that means it's a CD that I either really wanted, not really, that I wanted and had wanted for some time, I had been actively looking for it, or something that I bought, and then after listening to it, I came to be really happy that I got it because I really enjoy it. It's something that maybe I didn't know I needed or didn't know I wanted, but once I got it, I'm really happy that I have it. If I haven't colored it, it's just like that. That just means, doesn't mean it's bad. It just means it's just a CD. Am I explaining that properly? I'm not saying this one here, for example, is a bad CD when I want to get rid of it. On the contrary, but as opposed to a yellow one, that's something that kind of like I said, I either had been looking for a long time, like the Empire of the Sun album, Walking on a Dream. I've been wanting to buy that since 2009. Or the Mr. Scruff one, which I actually had no idea about, but I bought it, and once I listened to it, I really enjoyed it a lot. Not to say I didn't enjoy the Sorted compilation, but maybe to a lesser degree. So, we got Mr. Scruff, Keep It Real, the Sorted Indie compilation, and we got Nothing at those places. Then I got Empire of the Sun, Walking on a Dream, Tiny Vipers, Hands Across the Void, Leonard Skinner, Greatest Hits, which is a double album, double CD. All of those were $1 each. Then we go through his different parts. Takapuna Milford, Nothing. Then I Remember the Day, went to Whangaparaoa Salvation Army. I got 3 AC/DC albums. Stiffer Upper Lip, TNT, Dirty Deeds. The Beatles Help, which I've coloured yellow because I'm on the search for any Beatles album I can get. They're not the kind of thing that come up a lot. Especially the older albums, the compilation things sometimes pop up from time to time, but the actual albums themselves don't pop up as commonly. So I was very happy to get that. Chris Cornell, Carry On, which to be honest was a bit of a disappointment. Willie Nelson, Greatest Hits. So those were all $1 each. Then on was Nothing at those shops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 shops. On the 9th of January, I went to Massey. To a hospice store, I got that Rolling Stones triple Greatest Hits CD for $3. Nothing. And then I went to the SPCA shop and I found 2 Steve Vai albums, Sex and Religion, Passion and Warfare, a White Snake Greatest Hits, a Rainbow Greatest Hits, Queen, The Kind of Magic. Those are all priced at $2 each. You can see I've colored these 3 yellow because I really enjoyed those Steve Vai albums a lot more than I ever thought I would. In my mind, Steve Vai was just kind of one of those technical for the sake of technical guitarists, like an Yngwie Malmsteen type, really fiddly and just shredding. And he does do that, but a lot of the songs are just good kind of proggy rock songs. I especially like Sex and Religion, the one he did with, Passion and Warfare, Sex and Religion, the one he did with Devin Townsend. And a lot of that's because I am such a huge Devin Townsend fan anyway, and that was the main reason I bought it. But I think there's actually quite a few good songs on there, even though it didn't get great reviews. Passion Warfare, same thing. That doesn't have as many vocals on it, but it's got some good songs on there. Whitesnake, beyond Here I Go Again, I really wasn't familiar with Whitesnake at all, but listen to that Greatest Hits. Really well done 80s kind of, I don't know what you call it, kind of, a mixture of that hair, glam, cock rock type stuff. I think they do it, David Coverdale does it very well. It's like a lot of that stuff I find quite boring and kind of very samey. But I don't know. I just think it's almost Whitesnake is the best. If you take all that stuff from the late 70s and the 80s and kind of put it into one kind of mixture, I think Whitesnake does that almost the best that I've heard of those kinds of bands. So I really enjoy that Greatest Hits collection, much more than I ever thought I would. Then we got nothing. So you go sometimes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shops in a row, find nothing. Then I had about a week break where I made a video, talked about health anxiety, and my brother was visiting, so I kind of took a week off. And then on that Friday, the 17th, I went to Real Groovy in the city, and I got the Von Bondi's Air 10,000 Hertz Legend and Luscious Jackson. These were a little bit more expensive, or at least that one was $3, and these two were $2 each. We can see I've colored Air 10,000 Hertz Legend yellow because that is an album I've been looking for, not for such a super long time, because it's actually pretty easy to find, but I want to have the whole Air discography from beginning to end on complete jewel case artwork, disc, everything. And so that is something that I've been wanting to buy, and I found it, and so we're all good. Next day, the 20th, 2 in Ellerslie, nothing there. Pam New, I found Jen Krupa, Buddy Rich, John Prine, Gotan Project, all for $1 each. Nothing that I found. Kind of a bit of a haul here. I got the REM Around the Sun album, Breeders' Last Splash, Pearl Jam self-titled, Greatest Hits by Aerosmith, Night Before Christmas, Lords of Acid, all from one shop. And I've colored the Breeders yellow because that is an album. Last Splash is an album I've wanted for a long time. I listened to it when I was a teenager, when I was a kid, when it came out back in like 93, 94. I got Pod secondhand about 4 or 5 years ago, and so I wanted to get Last Splash as well. So we see it's a mixture of $2 and $1. Then at Salvation Army, I got the Beatles Love kind of compilation mix type thing, which I listened to last night. It's okay. $2, and a Bon Iver 22 a Million for $2, which I listened to this morning, which I gotta say, not a fan of that. I know that Bon Iver is kind of critically acclaimed, and that album really does nothing for me at all. So yeah, I'm actually looking at selling that. Nothing. Then on the next day, the 21st, I went to Flying Out, and I got the Mars Volta de Laus in the Comatorium, and another Air album, Everybody Hurts. I could actually color that yellow as well, because that is something that... The Mars Volta is an album that, again, is an album that I love. It's a classic album, in my opinion, that I owned before, and so I wanted it. And again, just like I talked about Air up here, I want to own the entire Air discography, even though this isn't actually an album, it's more of a remix type thing. Regardless, it is part of their discography. $3 and $2 we see there. Then something a little bit different. I found the Pink Floyd The Wall jewel case, not the CDs inside. The CDs were not in there. There was actually a pink, as in, the I'm coming up, so let's get this party started, or whatever that song she sings. The pop star with short hair. Her CD was inside it, but that was okay because I only wanted the jewel case to put the discs that I already had in a case. Next day, nothing. I found Oasis Heathen Chemistry. Again, I am building a Oasis discography, and I'm almost there now. And that is one that I've been kind of, not that I super love this album, to be honest, but it is something that I wanted to kind of round out the collection, which I've almost done now. And then a really good haul. That was $1, by the way. 3 Slipknot albums. The first 3 Slipknot albums that I like. listened to those over the last few days, and I'm reminded that I do enjoy them. I know it might be a bit blasphemous, but especially Iowa is a really solid album, in my opinion. Then the two Korn albums, Issues and Untouchables, System of a Down, self-titled, Stone Sour, self-titled, and the Tool album, Undertow. We see I've put most of those in yellow because even though I haven't been desperately searching for them, I'm certainly a band that I like and a band that you don't see a lot in the op shops. These two Korn albums are, like I mentioned in the video I made a couple of days ago, the first four, is it all four? 1, 2, 3, 5 Korn albums. No, 4. 5. Jesus. The first 5 Korn albums I'm a fan of. Things after that, not so much. But self-titled, Life is Peachy, Follow the Leader, Issues, and Untouchables, I think they are good albums with some great songs. That System of a Down album I've been looking for a long time as well. Tool album, been looking for a long time. And I've talked about I was almost going to buy that new a couple of times. Then we move on to yesterday, which is the last day of the venture. And I went to the Mounts, Mount Eden, Mount Albert, Mount Roskill, Sandringham. Nothing. Then I found the John Lennon album, Double Fantasy, for $2. Godspeed You Black Emperor, whatever that's pronounced as, F sharp, A sharp, $2. And You'll Know Us by the Trail of the Dead, self-titled, $2. And Japan Droids Celebration Rock, $2. Followed by 2 more where I struck out and got nothing. So of that, what is it? Almost, like I said, I started on the 6th, a third. It was actually actually, I can't remember. Might have been a day before that. But anyway, I started, let's just say, the very first week of January, and I finished on the 23rd. So it's almost exactly 3 weeks. And in that time, I visited 55 different shops. So I walked into 55, which is quite shocking, really, because if someone said how many op shops or secondhand shops are there in Auckland, I didn't go to all of them. That's kind of almost like a smattering. I missed out one whole area of the city, the whole southern area of the city, and also the east part of the city, like Howick and Botany and that kind of Bucklands Beach area. I didn't go anywhere near that either. And even the areas I did go, I didn't go to every shop. So that's a lot of shops to walk into. Sometimes you only walk in for 30 seconds. You walk in, see the shelf, it's shit, you walk straight back out. Some of them you're spending 10 or 20 minutes in. I purchased 47 CDs. That's crazy. When you hear it like that. 47 CDs. Of those, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Of those, 19 are albums that, if you told me at the beginning you're going to find those 19 albums and listed them out, I would have been very happy. They're albums, like I said, I either wanted and have been actively looking for, or maybe more passively looking for. And sometimes you don't know you want something until you see it. Like, what's an example of that? Well, I guess like the Slipknot albums. Slipknot is albums, like it's something that I would never buy new. Because if you're buying them new, they're going to be about $30. And I'm never going to buy a Slipknot album nowadays new. Sometimes they come up on the trading groups on Facebook for about $10, $5 to $10. And I kind of and ah over that, but I'm kind of like, well, there's things I'd rather get for that price. So to find them at $2 and then right in front of you, you think, aha. And so the grand total I spent is $80, which is about 20, what's that? I'm not good at maths. 25, 26, about $26 per week over 3 weeks. So to be honest, more than I thought I had spent. If someone said, how much did you spend? I would have said closer to 50 or 60. But I guess, 47 CDs, that obviously is an average of less than $2 per CD. I don't know exactly, I'm not going to work out here, but it's, and whatever way you cut it, 47 CDs for $80 is a good bargain. I'm not going to say it's great, because a great bargain would be $47 CDs for $47. I think getting the dollar CDs is kind of the perfect situation. Well, I guess perfect situation is getting them for free. I mean, as in terms of purchasing, $1 is kind of perfect, but $2 is obviously not that much more. Is that normal for me to spend $80 in a month or less than a month? Absolutely not. So this is the most I've spent in a month. I think last year I bought a few new CDs, like I bought that Aphex Twin CD, which was about $60 from memory. And I bought an Opeth CD at the end of the year in November. I think that was about $24. But obviously those are single CDs, as opposed to 47 of them here. But I don't think there would have been a month, even multiple months, that I've spent $80 recently. When I mean in this current, modern era. Maybe when I was in my 20s, I might have spent $80 on CDs on a month, because CDs were like $30 each. But overall, I'm happy with that. And in as much as I filled in a lot of gaps in my collection, I got things that I've been looking for a long time. I covered I covered a large chunk of the city. Part of me, the reason why I did it, or wanted it, is because I felt, I was kind of like feeling like, there could be some like great CDs just sitting there, and if I don't go look for them, then I'm going to miss out. Which is a silly way to think, because someone could have donated 100 CDs to one of those shops that I went to yesterday today, and they could be sitting there, and I'm not going to go back there for at least a year. So that kind of thinking is pointless. But it is kind of, I had the opportunity, I had the time off work, my family were away. As I've kind of said again and again, doing this, that in some ways I didn't really enjoy the process of going into the shops and buying the things, not the music. Once I get home with the CDs and play them, I'm happy to have them. And I've enjoyed listening to them. There's been some real revelations in my listening. Like I said, Whitesnake and Steve Vai, 2 examples. That's not the issue. I'm happy to have the CDs, but it's the trudging around the shops. It just kind of, I'm over it. And so therefore I've kind of done my dash. I can't imagine I'm going to be going out extensively again for a long, long time. The places that I will go, and that I do go regularly, there's one just close to my house, which is about a 5-minute walk, which I usually call into about once a week or once every 2 weeks, because it's so close, and they always do dollar CDs. And there's another 2 places, the kind of next suburb over from where I live, about a 10-minute drive, and so I'm in that area, and they usually have some decentish stuff, they kind of, and so I'll probably look there about once a month as well. And then other places in my general area, there'll be more like once every 3 months. So I'd say this year is going to be much lighter in terms of op shop, secondhand shop CDs. And the CDs that I do buy are going to be much more weighted towards gap filling and specific purchases, not just whim purchases. For example, I bought 2 CDs off Facebook, one of the Facebook groups I'm on Tuesday. The guy just sent them yesterday. Well, he told me he did at least, and I assume they'll be turning up either tomorrow or Monday. And those are two specific things. Again, gap fillers. When I say gap filler, I mean I'm collecting a particular thing, whether it's a whole band's discography or a particular year or particular genre, and it's something that know that I want to get. Two of these things came up and I purchased them. They were, I can't remember the price now. They were about $5 each. And they'll be turning up. That kind of purchase is what I'm going to be focusing on. And so therefore, because they're a little bit more expensive, I tend to do that much more fleetingly. Not fleetingly, that's not the right word. Sparingly. Maybe only kind of once a month or something like that. It's also my birthday coming up soon. Not that anyone really cares about that, but I'm saying that isn't that. I usually get a couple of gifts, or it's, I get some money from family, or some of my wife she either buys me something I ask her to buy, or she'll give me some cash and tell me to buy what I want to buy. And so often I do buy CDs with that, new CDs. So if there's something I really want, a new release. However, recently there hasn't been any real new releases I've desperately wanted. And so I'm not sure if I will be buying any new CDs. Anyway, hopefully that was at least a little bit interesting for someone. A spreadsheet. But yeah, that's 3 weeks of my life, walking in and out of 55 shops, picking up 47 CDs and spending $80. Which is, I should say, $80 is about $40 US, give or take. And the way that I justify myself, justify is not the right word, but I don't really spend money on anything else at all. Beyond the necessities of life, like food and the power bill and things like that. I don't have any other hobby that requires money. I guess I go to the gym. It's not really a hobby. I do that for my health. But I don't play any sports. I don't really collect anything else. I don't play video games. I don't gamble. I don't smoke. I barely drink. Every now and then I'll have a beer or two, but very, very rarely. And now that I'm kind of old and have a family, and all my friends are old and they got families as well, don't really go out that much either, kind of going out and spending money, socializing and whatnot. So spending $80 in a month on my personal kind of hobby really isn't that much. Anyway, we'll leave it there. Thank you for watching.